Film is a medium that transports. All I have to do is pop myself in front of the TV to watch a movie, and I can just enjoy it, whatever place the film takes me to.
Movies have always been an escape. It gives you a whole new world to be in.
I have a rekindled love affair with movies.
Welcome, everyone, to this episode of Reel to Reel Talk. I am Sergio Barrera, and it's time once again to talk movies. Joining me, as always, are the other Reel to Reel talkers, Susan Chisholm and Paul Britton. Team, it is movie assignment time once again, and I'm ready to talk movies.
Yeah, let's talk movies. And we have a special episode. Let's tell the people what they need to know, what's coming up.
Yeah, well, no, absolutely. So this episode we'll be talking, of course, about movie assignments that we've made to one another, but we're also in Academy Award season.
Yes.
This week, the nominations for the 93rd Academy Awards that will be broadcasting. When did you say, Paul?
April 20th, 24th, I think. Yeah,
All
let
right.
me get the exact. It's April 25th.
Yeah, so the nominations are out. We have got an interesting list of nominees, and we're going to talk today about some of the major categories and give our thoughts on the nominations because interesting. That was literally the word that popped into my mind as I read all the nominees. It was like, interesting.
You're stupid. No, I'm not stupid.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited to talk about that because this is always my favorite part of the year. Well, this year it's a little later than normal.
Yeah.
But I always challenge myself to see as many of the nominees as possible, and I'm about halfway through the list. I've got 5 of the 9. So
I banged out 2 today. In fact, yeah.
Well, there you go.
I had the day off. So.
And you know what I love is that the 5 that I have are thanks to this show because we have reviewed them. As part of our work. So,
and by the way, just and we haven't talked about this. I'm springing this on like our real quick reviews over the next 5-6 weks are just basically going to be filling in Paul's Oscar gaps, and you're just going to have to deal with it.
I'm totally okay with that.
Sorry, that's just. I only have so much time in a week to watch movies, and I have to fill in my Oscar gaps. So it's just gonna. Hey, Sergio, we could do. Oh, I don't know, portrait, portrait or Promising Woman or whatever that one is called.
Yeah,
Promising Young Woman.
Promising Young Woman. You know that just went down in price. You saw it?
I saw it.
Oh,
I saw a movie that you two haven't seen.
Promising Young Woman?
Promising Young Woman. Okay.
Nice.
And the rental price just went down this week, so
that must have been today because yesterday it was still $19.99, and I'm cheap.
No, it just went down. It just went down.
Nice.
So,
well, there you go. Shame on me for
guess what
having
we might
price.
be doing for this coming week as a real quick review.
I think we should. I also know we'll get to it, but again, actually it's more than half of the list that I've seen. But anyway, so we will talk about that as part of today's episode because it is award season and we've already had the Golden Globes. I need to catch up on the SAG Awards and the British Awards, the BAFTAs.
And also the producer guilds are a good one too.
True.
If you're
true.
I need to catch up on all of those.
Or you can just go on not caring like every other year of your entire life.
Wow. Whoa.
That is
the truth here.
There are things that are important to some people, and then there are things that are not at all important to me.
And it's on this hand over there.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry, not sorry.
We're dragging you through the mud over the next 7 weeks or however it is.
Yeah.
The best I can.
But it will be for your own good, Susan. So.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. That's if you think about it, guys, that's the test of the true test of folks that do what we do, which is we have to put ourselves in the path of the train when it comes to award season because there's going to be those movies that we're like, okay, but had to watch it, right?
Yeah.
So that we can make, a good assessment of how we feel things went. So I'm always excited about it. So
yeah. We're
all
looking
right.
at you, Glenn Close, nominated for
Oh.
Hillbilly Elegy. Sorry.
Yeah.
Save
Did you
it.
notice also she got nominated for a Razzie for the
Yes.
same role?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Second time it's happened. I don't know what the first time was. I just saw on the internet this is the second time, and then somebody asked, "Oh, what's the first time?" and nobody ever answers. So whatever. It's fine.
Well, we'll keep a close eye and see if she wins either one. So
right. It's probably Al Pacino for something.
Could be. We'll find out.
Anyway,
Susan's our Googler, so she'll probably.
I'm furiously Googling as we speak.
Excellent.
That's her superhero name, the Googler.
The Googler.
Well, I used to be the glitch bitch, so.
You've been promoted.
Oh, that's horrible.
All right. Well, we'll start with we had movie assignments, and I don't know why I felt this way, guys, but it felt like we assigned these so long ago. I'm not sure what happened, but
the clocks changed. That
must be it. That must be it. Because boy, did I feel this one. But I was actually pleased with the assignment I got.
Excellent.
I'm gonna thank y'all.
Good.
But I forget. I don't know that we even decided who's going to go first. But if you don't mind,
you go.
You did not.
I'll lead.
Sure.
And then we'll decide who wants to go next. But the movie that I was given this round of assignments, I will share with those of you who are watching that I was told prior to us going on air that I was given this one because of my belly aching about the movies I've been assigned in the past, which were, what did you call them, Paul?
Animated movies and teen films.
Teen films. That's what I couldn't think of that term because that felt, And so Susan and Paul, you both assigned me a movie called The Invisible Guest.
Which was, how did we come upon that movie? Go ahead, Susan, tell them.
Yep.
That was, I believe, a Netflix roulette for me for suspense originally back in the day.
Way back in 1927 or something like that.
It was, I think, Thrillers or something. So find that episode. I have to tell you, for me, this movie, first of all, Spanish language, loved it. And let me tell you why. Quick little side note. I just finished going through Breaking Bad and all of the seasons that have come out so far of Better Call Saul. And one of my only beefs with both of those shows is that for the characters that they bring on that are Spanish speaking, cartel characters and so forth, the actors I don't even know that it's the actors. The writing is such that it's like, no, that's not the proper grammar for Spanish in that setting. Or they speak the Spanish very haltingly. Like I love Giancarlo Esposito with all of my heart and soul as an actor, but his Spanish is not.
Es muy malo.
It's
no bueno.
Not.
Yeah, no está claro. Es muy malo.
Qué lástima.
But he's a wonderful actor, and so I forgive him. Plus, again, some of the writing, they don't have the grammar. Anyway, all of that to say, when I started this film and saw it was a Spanish language film, the fluidity and the sort of like there was just this sort of hug feeling of like, oh, this is Spanish spoken well. And it was beautiful to listen to. And when you make it part of a suspenseful thriller, it was wonderful. So right from the get-go, I was intrigued by the characters and the dialogue and the discussion, this mystery that was playing out on the screen. Short little setup. A guy he awakes to find that his lover is dead, and he is arrested for the crime. And the movie plays out as he tries to explain his case to the lawyer that will be helping him in this process. Now, I know we've reviewed it before.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you that I didn't recall a lot of what was said about the film, which was good because I was able to come at it to some level clean. Yeah. And I really enjoyed the story. And I got so into it that at the end, when the reveal happens, I was like, how did I miss that? I see her features are the same.
They're the same.
And where someone else might have caught that, for myself, I was like so taken in by the story, and I loved the dialogue and the engagement of the actors with one another. I loved it. I really enjoyed this film, and as soon as she started, when she met back up with her husband, and she started removing, I was like, wow, how did I miss this? How did I miss this? And so yeah, it was wonderfully played, and I loved the decisions that were made about how they delivered some of the lines, because you expected it when the guy finally admits that he indeed committed the crime. It was so subtle.
Yeah.
And you could almost see the shock on her face as she realized, oh, that's why I'm here. I wanted him to admit. But no, from the standpoint of a story, I really enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed the trip it took me on.
Mm-hmm.
And you just can't beat a good mystery in Spanish. It was amazing. I loved it.
The pinnacle of the Spanish language is movie mysteries.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
So the invisible guest.
Es muy importante.
Era muy enjoyable.
Cool. Glad we got to give you one that you liked and didn't have to, share with a teenager.
I'm actually, I always try to refrain from sharing movies that we're going to talk about before we talk about them. And I'm excited now to post it and encourage folks to watch it. So.
Yeah. And by the way, I just want to point out that, at least I listen when somebody says, oh, you should watch a movie that I got assigned from Roulette, unlike you, who still has not seen The Wandering
Earth. It's on my list. I came really close.
It needs to be number one. You will love this movie. Period. End of story.
You're right. So, I will take care of that.
Really quick, for anybody who's interested in the original viewing of the show when we watched it, when I got it for Netflix, we're like, it's episode number 40 on our histories. Just go back in it. And it was on September 1st was when it was published. So check it out. You can hear what I had to say about it. Yeah. Because I freaking loved it.
You really liked it. Your review.
I was like, the entire time. You said we're at the end when she's revealing it, and you're like, how did I miss that? And
see, so I'm really bad. My wife is exemplary at finding these little things, like, oh, this is what's going on. She's really good at it. It really is shameful for me. Because I'm horrible at it usually, but I actually did. But that's all right. It's fine. It's okay. It's all right. I got it. I did realize it early on. So
Paul, you seem to have some opinions on the movie, having seen it yourself.
Yeah, I honestly, when I catch up on something like that, I feel like, oh, well, they didn't do a good enough job hiding it if I can get it. Because I don't know. He was such an asshole.
And the whole movie, for me, I was flip-flopping back and forth between, oh man, poor dude, and
at no point was I poor dude. And maybe it's the laissez-faire European feelings on having affairs and stuff like that just, I don't get, and whatever, and it might be a cultural thing like that. I don't know, but I felt like you needed to have an itty bitty ounce of like, oh, this sucks that this guy's going through this. Yeah. I had none of that with the whole movie, and I think that was a problem.
I think the reason I didn't feel that way was only because this wasn't a mystery about her, the one that was killed.
Right.
This was a mystery about their son. So I didn't like him either.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see justice for these parents.
Yeah, okay.
So that's the only reason I didn't feel the way you did.
Cool. That's if that's
because
what they were going
I didn't like
for,
because there was a point where even the woman who was killed took a turn and she became a bitch. I'll just say it. Yeah. And so, not that anyone.
But then it becomes was she really, or was she not? And it turns out she really wasn't.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Anyways,
it was
but,
an issue
yeah.
of how we react to circumstances, but
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So as I move my greens,
And it was good. I just didn't like it as quite as much as you guys, but I did like it. I did. It was an enjoy. They set it up well. It was an enjoyable little film there.
Jaunt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right. Well, I'm going to leave it to you to decide who's next team to let me know how it went.
I'll go. I'm ready.
Do it.
You guys gave me Zombieland, and I am eternally grateful.
Oh, that's exciting.
I am eternally grateful. Jesus. So the great thing about this is that the way we came about giving me Zombieland is because I did The Dead Don't Die as my what the hell did I just watch, and then in conversation it just came up like, oh, so it's kind of like Zombieland. I hadn't seen Zombieland. This is so. It's so different from The Dead Don't Die, but it's the same type of genre of. For whatever reason, the people have decided that the funniest horror genre is zombie movies. Like, you can have, other horror genres that try to be funny, and they just end up not being very funny. But you can genuinely have fun with a zombie movie for some reason. I don't know why. Like, I don't know why it works, but it really does. And this movie just is one of those movies that absolutely fucking works. It's so fucking funny. I mean, and it's 2 zombie funny movies with Bill Murray in it. You can't go wrong. And in this one, Bill Murray plays Bill Murray, but like not. So the best thing is it's Bill Murray as Bill Murray, not Bill Murray as himself.
Right.
And that's what's really fucking funny about it. And if you do decide to watch it, and I can't possibly recommend it enough, stay for the end credits. Watch it all the way through to the end, because there is a little they give you a nugget at the end, and I knew they would, and I was like, I am not turning this channel. Like, I'm gonna watch the credits all the way through, and I was so pleased that I did. Just a lot of fun. Everybody is fantastic in it. Woody Harrelson is. I don't know. Is he the most underrated actor we have? Like,
he's on the list,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, he is so good. And I don't know if his range is kind of limited, but the stuff that he's really good at, he is really good at. What is it? What is it about Woody Harrelson? Somebody help me.
I would think it's some of the choices he's made. I mean, when I think of Woody Harrelson, I can't recall like every bit of his filmography, but things like Natural Born Killers stands out. Sure. And that's like, I struggle to recall what he's been in, right?
Okay, sure.
And yet I remember when Zombieland came out, one of the selling points was that he was in it, and I saw it when it opened. So it's one of those things where I like Woody Harrelson, but I forget what he's done until I encounter it and go, oh, I think I'll watch that again.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that helps at all, but that's, I think part of it is, can people really recall the work he's done, or is it too similar across the work he's done?
Yeah.
You know?
Interesting. Okay. I mean, like, I loved him in Solo, the Star Wars, like the Star Wars, like his character in that was great. 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri. If you haven't seen that, that's another one that he's really, really good in. And here's what it is. So I'm going to just come out and acknowledge that Woody Harrelson is usually playing your idea of who Woody Harrelson is. In most of his movies, the characters that he plays are usually very similar. And I mentioned that, I alluded to that earlier, where, his range is limited. But the difference between him and like a Kevin Costner or the other dude that I dislike, who I compare to Kevin Costner, is that, like, I like him. Like, Woody Harrelson, what's that?
I said, James Franco.
James Franco, thank you. Like, Woody Harrelson seems affable and fun and interesting to me. Whereas Kevin Costner and James, they do not really seem all that interesting to me. Like, and even though Seth Rogen really likes him, I'm sorry. So
is it a safe bet you've not seen The Highwayman because of Kevin Costner?
No, I have not seen The Highwayman.
Okay, because Woody Harrelson is really good in it.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, and speaking of pictures of Woody Harrelson's that I couldn't recall, I loved him in White Men Can't Jump.
Yeah, White Man Can't Jump, so good.
Oh man. That's a long. I haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, there you go. But yeah, I got to see Woody Harrelson in Zombieland, and it's been on my list forever, and I got to knock it out. And thank you guys.
I'm really happy with that result, Susan.
Yeah,
I am too. I'm
so
very
funny.
happy with that result.
So funny.
I think if we never do an episode again, I will die happy that we gave Paul a movie that he loved. And
I loved it. That made up for Child's Play fivefold. Yeah.
You know what though? Like what was one of my favorite scenes, I think, in the whole thing was with the whole Bill Murray playing Bill Murray thing.
Yeah.
So when they're in his house and he like dresses up as a zombie and he's like, and they shoot him. Like, what did you expect was gonna happen?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Such a great moment. All right. Well, Susan, I'll turn it over to you for what your movie assignment was.
The only one left. Oh no. So I was assigned The Italian Job. And it was specified that it had to be the Marky Mark version and not the old version.
Yeah.
Wow, what can you say about it?
It's good.
It's good. It's really good. I was like, it's an action movie. It's a really talky action movie. But I sat there and I watched it, and it had me like hooked the entire time. I hated Edward Norton the entire time, and I couldn't. I was just like, I hate you so much. You think you're so great, and you're not. You're stupid.
Even before you're supposed to hate him, you hate him. It's great.
Exactly. And when you meet them and they're going through the whole, the original heist.
Yeah.
Pardon me. I said it was an action movie. It's a heist movie.
But it's an actiony heist movie.
Important to specify. Yeah.
It is. So in the beginning, when they had their original heist, he's doing these little things that are just like, I don't like you. I don't like you at all. No. You're a smart ass, and you're sleazy, and I just don't like you. And then, of course, from the thing, he betrays them all, and you're just like, I fucking know it. Yeah, but I did enjoy it. I thought like there's a few other movies that it reminded me of when they did like the practice runs and stuff like that. Ocean's 11 comes to mind when they like where they're practicing all the things that they're going to do. They're talking through it, or maybe it was not 11, maybe it was 12. But anyway, they did, and it also reminded me of my mind just went completely blank and I lost one.
Inside Job?
Nope.
Okay.
It'll come back to me later, I'm sure. But like the way that they rehearsed everything and how every every little aspect of things had to be perfect, and every heist movie where they do that, one tiny little thing goes wrong or isn't exactly right, maybe not wrong, but they always seem to pull it off in the end. And so that's. Yeah,
I love the scene that I always recall from that movie that I absolutely love is where they're trying to figure out Edward Norton is smart enough to send the 3 trucks in different directions, but they figure it out by the height of how low the one truck is riding. Like little details like that are so much fun when it comes to heist films. Yeah. And I love this movie. I really do.
And shout out to Charlize Theron, because I feel like this is the movie that sets her up for like Atomic Blonde and stuff like that. And I might be wrong. I could probably go back and look and see if there was something else. But like, I do feel like this is the one that sets that up. Like, I would totally watch her like a sequel that like is just about her and like she does something. Like, I don't know. She is fantastic in it. So
yeah, and I mean, and I did do research, of course, because we're just like I'm looking about things after I watched it. And reading all of the different things that the crew says and stuff like that. So apparently Edward Norton made it no secret that he didn't want to do this project. It was a in my contract, so I have to.
Oh.
But like he was snarky, he was a jerk to all the people, and like I think that really, like, his disdain for everything going on the production side of it really shows. And all of the people, all of them said that they went through all this, the training to learn how to drive, like stunt drivers and stuff like that. All of them were like, yeah, no matter what. And, Jason Statham is in, oh God.
Fast and Furious?
Well, yeah, he was in Fast and Furious, and he was in the other. Anyway, he's like always driving. He's always driving, and he's always driving crazy and fast and doing stunts and tricks and stuff like that.
Yep.
And him and every single one of them was like, she's the better driver of all of us. So like Charlize Theron had it like down pat. So it was pretty kind of neat to be like, ha ha, she's so pretty.
I love that you were
she's
bringing up
talented.
the transporter series.
Transporter.
Jesus Christ. I was like, he drives. That's all he does.
Yeah. That is all he does. He has gloves for the driving. Like the gloves are really fucking important.
Yeah.
Don't forget that.
That's funny.
And it's weird because it's like you're like, this is not Susan's thing. She's never gonna know the transporter. And I'm like, I seen it.
I seen it.
Yeah.
I seen it. Yeah. So I really dug the movie. I think it was great. And I appreciate it. I think this was one of the assignments where we all actually liked our movies, and not just a little bit, but really liked them. So it's kind of brainy. I dig it.
One of my favorite, if I can say one more thing about Italian Job, I love the callback. If you've never seen the first one, it is good. Robert Powell and cast. I love that the remake brought back the Mini Coopers, because that was a big deal in the first film. Yeah. And that I don't know that was even the heyday of the Mini Cooper here in the modern era, so to speak.
That's when it all began.
Was it? Okay.
This is what kind of set it off.
Yeah, and I don't fit in them, but anyway, I love that they drew that back for the remake. So
excellent. Smithers.
I'm glad we all enjoyed our films.
Yeah,
that makes me happy.
Yeah.
It gives me happy.
But apparently I'm going back to animated movies and teen flicks for the next round.
You are.
But
we'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
No guarantees.
We're getting better at, figuring things out for Paul. So
yeah.
I know. We've already got three lined up for him, right? I'm like
3 or 2. I know the next one is actually on Netflix through the end of the month. So I'm on the clock to watch mine. Otherwise I'm gonna pay for it or something.
Better do it. Yeah, don't pay for it.
Yeah, things we give you probably don't want to risk paying for. So, all right. All right. Well, that is the latest installment of Movie Assignments. We had a great time, and I'm looking forward to whatever movie assignments come next. I will pay if I need to for better assignments. So. Oh my goodness.
It's not our fault you didn't like Coco. That's not on us.
I never said I didn't like it. I just didn't cry.
For the record, I had to pay for mine this time. So, I mean, it's $2.99.
You guys will love this. Speaking of Coco, so this past week I had to teach a class, and one of the things that I teach for my place of employment is a Disney branding class. And we all, at the beginning of class, I have my students, they have to tell us which Disney character they connect with the most. And then they add that character's name to their name on our, virtual classroom. And of course I always pick Remy. But somehow Coco came up, and the inevitable question, did you like Coco? Yeah. Did you cry? No. And I lost them. The class was like, how evil. Yeah, it was hilarious because, it took a little bit of coaxing them back to like, okay, let's get back to work. So.
No, but at least remember, we were all like, what? What?
Well, y'all were shocked that I'd never seen it.
Yeah.
So.
No. And at least you could imagine how horrible it would have been if you would have said, "Oh no, I hadn't seen it." Like that would have been worse if you asked me.
That's true.
Yeah. For some reason, for reasons of my animated movie history, there's always something that happens when I have to do that class. Like the day that somebody picked Daisy, and I'm like, "Who's Daisy?" Yeah. So.
Daisy Duck.
Yeah, I didn't recall. So. All right. Well, what we can recall is that you can find us on YouTube, and apparently you're here if you're watching, so you have. But have you clicked on that subscribe button? That's the question I want to ask you. If you haven't, go ahead and do so. Also, click that notification bell so you know when our episodes land, and like the episode, because look how cute we all are. And of course, we do a good job. So click on that like button, share with your friends. We love that you're here. Thank you so much for also joining us on Facebook and Instagram. You can find us and know what we're watching, what we're talking about. And on Podbean and Spotify, you can find our audio versions as well. We thank you for joining us. And this week, we will be foregoing our normal segments in favor of a discussion, as we said earlier, on this year's Oscar nominations. We are finally at a point where we have the nominees for the 93rd Academy Awards that will be broadcast on April 25th. And as we go through the list, guys, I'd like to just sort of get your overall thoughts, sort of high level, on what you saw as whether or not we feel like, are these nominations, just what were your impressions, I guess, is what we're looking for. And I'd like to start with Best Picture. Okay. We have 9 nominees this year. 8. Is it?
Yeah.
I thought it was 9. You're right.
That's
it's
okay.
8 because Sergio can't count.
8
nominations. I think max is 10 any given year.
Correct. Well, starting next year, it will always be 10. So the rules change next year. Okay. They're changing from, between 8 and 10 to, we're just going to throw 10 out there and be done with it.
Gotcha. Well, the list this year for Best Picture includes The Father, Anthony Hopkins, in a starring role in that film, Judas and the Black Messiah, Mank, Minari, Nomadland, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, and The Trial of the Chicago 7.
Right.
I mentioned earlier that a large portion of that list we have talked about here on the show. And I am pleased at the list, but I feel like some things are missing.
Okay. At least.
And I mean, I think we're going to feel like that about most of the categories this year.
Sure.
So
that's always.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is we'll get this out of the way now. It's an interesting year because of the fact that so few movies were actually released this year. So right off the bat, like you kind of feel like, geez, why is X, Y, or Z missing? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because they're, I don't know.
Well, and the other overriding feeling I had outside of interesting was, good. Like Sound of Metal. Very pleased that it made this cut because I didn't think it would.
So. It's got a lot of buzz. I would not put it in my top 10 movies of the year.
Sure.
Like I it didn't resonate with me, but it's one of those movies that like I watched it and I was like, this isn't like, I'm not into this at all, but I get that other people are going to be. And so, it made sense to me.
Yeah.
The ones I haven't seen yet are The Father, Promising Young Woman, as we kind of mentioned early on, and Minari. And so we're going to clear up the Promising Young Woman. We're knocking that one out this week. I have a hard time this year looking at something and being like, okay, well, this has to be an over, like, for example, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom is a perfect example where that is just a great movie and I loved it, but I don't know what spot that fills. Like, other than you could have had a 9th and 10th movie on there, like, sure. Where does it go? Like, I don't know. Chadwick Boseman's nominated for Best Actor, and Viola Davis is nominated for Best Actress, and I think those are the awards for it. Like, I think those are that's what I remember from the movie. And if it had won Best Picture, I would have genuinely been like, okay, but Boseman and Davis are the ones. Like, and as long as, like, I unfortunately, I'm sure Davis isn't going to win just because she hasn't been winning anywhere, but I think Boseman probably will win. So I don't know.
Susan, you've seen a large number of the lists. In fact, I think we all share the same 3 that we haven't seen because the rest we've reviewed. Any thoughts, perhaps, on your part, given what you're a member of the five? Who would you say might have a shot at picking up the trophy?
Oof. I'm really bad at this. I'm probably not the best person to ask in terms of it. I mean, I think that they're all unique and different. I mean, they're all kind of have their own strengths, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, terrible at it. I have no idea.
Well, and I want to say you've seen Promising Young Woman, we said.
Yes.
Which I know I haven't. I still lack that one, Minari, and The Father as well. But yeah, it's an interesting category, and I'm looking forward to finishing out the other three films as soon as possible to be able to sort of weigh in and figure out how I feel. Of the five, Paul, are there any that you feel have an edge?
I mean, there's what I really like, and there's what is the momentum and just kind of the general buzz. Nomadland has the buzz right now, and has all of the momentum, and people love it. And the one that is my favorite movie of the year is just getting nothing, and it's Mank. And I am resigned to the fact that my favorite movie of the year is just not going to get anything. If its best shot is probably supporting actress with Amanda Seyfried, and I hope she wins. She's fantastic in it. I don't know that she will. I think the most interesting race is director this year because of these two movies.
Which was the next topic I was going to bring up, actually.
Cool. So I'm going to just usurp your prerogative here and say, let's talk about director, because so at this point I have seen all but Minari in the director. Oh no, that's not true. I haven't seen Promising Young Woman. So, but I did see Another Round this week. So, with just canceling out Minari and Promising Young Woman and realizing that there's no way Another Round should win over Mank or Nomadland. These are two completely different philosophies on how to direct a movie. Where Fincher in Mank just absolutely just dominates the entire process, and it's just directed to the hilt. I mean, this movie isn't remotely as good without having just a shot-by-shot plan of everything and it being obvious that you've planned everything out. Nomadland would not be remotely as good if you didn't just let things organically happen and be a director who, and by the way, I'm sure she had everything planned out but give the feel of you are just witnessing events as opposed to you are watching a movie, and it's two just completely different movies, and I don't know which people want, but the reality is that if you want one of those two extremes, these are the quintessential examples of those two extremes, and I can't imagine picking any other movie. And granted, again, haven't seen two of them, but just I can't picture a movie being better directed than Mank or Nomadland. I can't fathom it.
It's interesting because I think we might get that thing again we sometimes get where one film wins Best Picture and then a different director wins Best Director, because I think Fincher, I agree with you in the sense that I feel he's put together a movie that is so much his work, which is what you want for this category. Now, I say that with the limited experience of having, 3 out of the 5 that I still need to watch, and I'm going to. I'll be interested in a couple of weeks if we revisit our thoughts on any of these, even if it's just here and there, because I loved Mank.
Yeah.
But I also loved Nomadland tremendously. And Chloe Zhao, very, very talented.
Yeah.
So.
The interesting thing about Chloe Zhao, nominated for 4 categories. First woman to be nominated for 4 categories in the same year.
Yeah.
And editing, directing, screenplay, and picture. And it's honestly, I hope I can't see how this one could win for screenplay, because it's like the writing is just so not the thing that stands out. You know what I mean? What are you giggling about? Susan, you're giggling.
I just love your passion about it.
Oh, okay.
I love your passion about it. That's
okay.
All. Like it makes me happy every time.
Yeah.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm just like, like it makes me happy.
Yep. And so, but also I could totally see it winning because for the same reason. It's kind of like, you know, the writing is almost secondary to everything else that's going on. It's the cinematography is another one. Like cinematography is another category where it's like this movie is so frigging beautiful. And you know, what are the other ones? I know Mank is nominated for it. What are the other ones in there? I'm looking for it. It's not. I don't have that one queued up, ready to go.
For cinematography?
Okay, so there's Mank, News of the World, which I haven't seen. I can't imagine how Trial of the Chicago 7's up there. Like Judas and the Black Messiah is an interesting case for cinematography, but I mean the reality is that what people look for in cinematography usually, again, you're looking at Mank, which is the cinematography is all inside. It's all you know. It's all the production value. And so like Mank absolutely deserves best production design. Like it's going to get that. Like I would be shocked if it didn't. But Nomad, like, but its cinematography is brilliant too. Just because of how it mirrors the source material. And whereas Nomadland is just that epic sort of classic cinematography of outside and the vastness of space and using all of the camera space to tell a story. And it's just, and that's what this one's going to come down to is just like, do you want more or less? And I don't know.
If I read correctly, Mank leads the nominations with 10.
Correct.
And so again, it's getting its recognition, but it really is down to when that envelope opens to see, you know, what will it end up with. In the Best Actor category, we've already said Chadwick Boseman, you know, in just a hugely deserving role, posthumous nomination. I haven't seen The Father, so I, as an Anthony Hopkins fan, you always root for those you love. Gary Oldman as well, Mank. I need to see Minari, but I was just very pleased that Riz Ahmed was nominated for Sound of Metal. You know, my first exposure to him was Rogue One. You know, and so to see him, you know, up for a statue. You know, it's one of those things that will more than legitimize his work. And like an Adam Driver, I think if we continue seeing him utilized and put into films, he'll become someone that is a recognized name. And but for myself, and I want to hear y'all's thoughts, Chadwick Boseman's performance in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom was one of the most powerful things I've seen this year. You know, we lost a great one when it comes to this type of talent.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like you said, it's really deserving. He just outshone everybody, so that's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it really is. And the thing about Riz Ahmed is like the thing that stuck with me with that movie was him. Like like his performance is so huge and magnificent. And it feels like it surrounds the entire film of Sound of Metal. And like you take him out of that role and that movie just doesn't work on any level, I don't think. Right. Whereas, you know, Chadwick Boseman, for as good as his role is, as good as he is, and he's fantastic, you could probably find another actor to put in there and do a decent job and still have a great movie. Whereas I don't think Sound of Metal works at all with anybody but Riz. Like just because of how, you know, he makes a huge role in what really is for me like a smallish movie. Like you know, the movie feels small in comparison to his portrayal, and you know, and that. But I do think the posthumous going to like. I feel bad. I wish Riz Ahmed could be the guy for this one, but it just seems this is going to be the obligatory. You know, posthumous tribute.
As far as acting goes, the other thing I loved about Sound of Metal being in the mix was Paul Rossi, who quietly played the counselor.
Right.
And I when I saw the name come up, I was like, I don't know that name, but I'm betting it's this guy. And sure enough, he gets nominated alongside Sacha Baron Cohen, Daniel Kaluuya, Leslie Odom Jr., and Lakeith Stanfield for Best Supporting Actor. All of these movies, Trial of Chicago 7, Judas and the Black Messiah, One Night in Miami. I mean, they're movies that we've seen and that are powerful. And so I'm that this is one of the categories that to me, to some degree, is a toss-up, because I enjoyed the performances of all these gentlemen.
And so the one thing I want to say about this category is Delroy Lindo. And the confusing thing to me is having both of the titular characters from a movie be supporting actors. And both being nominated, and it just boggles the mind, like, and Kaluuya is so good. I hope he wins. Like I'm gonna just be out there. But Delroy Lindo in The Five Bloods, he doesn't show up anywhere, and that's the one. That is literally the one that I'm just like, oh, that hurts. Like I don't get it because he is so good in that movie.
Yeah, and I remember thinking the same, because it was such a powerful performance, and yet, left out. The thing that I wanted to comment on in relation to this particular category is the cast of One Night in Miami. It could really have been a pick'em and who to nominate, but Leslie Odom Jr. has just received so much buzz. And so I'm glad he's in the mix there as well. To your point about Kaluuya and Stanfield both being nominated, I want to say, I can't remember who it was that taught me this, but it's up to the film to determine where they nominate or where their nominees land. Is that right, Paul?
I thought that's what it was, but like I watched another thing this week, and in preparation, and apparently the voters have some say in that too. Like I don't know, I don't know the mechanics of it. I just know that it feels weird.
Yeah, I mean,
one of the two guys that are in the title should probably be Best Actor. I don't know.
Although Lakeith Stanfield, I think, would have the larger role, I guess, but they were both so good and so equally there very interesting. The Best Actress category, again, we mentioned earlier, Viola Davis nominated for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Andra Day for The United States versus Billie Holiday, who already picked up the Golden Globe, Vanessa Kirby for Pieces of a Woman, Frances McDormand for Nomadland, and Carey Mulligan for Promising Young Woman. Frances McDormand also picking up a Golden Globe for acting in Nomadland. So I haven't seen Pieces of a Woman or Promising Young Woman, so I can only weigh in on the three that I've seen, and I wish it would. I really hope for Viola Davis to pick up another. I mean,
Susan, let's hear it. What are you thinking on these?
I mean, I'm really terrible at picking things. So, I mean, I would say Viola Davis 100%, but like, she just doesn't, I don't feel like she gets the, what's the word? She doesn't get the recognition. She doesn't get the buzz. She doesn't get the clout.
And she has Oscars already. So it's,
And that's not
so does Frances McDormand. Like that's the tough thing. It's like you have three women who are, one I know is very good in her role, and two who I'm assuming are great. And then two who are just like standards. They are Oscar standards, and they are loved by the Academy. We know that. So, but the transformation of Viola Davis is so amazing.
Yeah.
That's why, that's what's so important. And Frances McDormand, I'm not going to say is playing to type, but it's the kind of performance you come to expect from her. So does it really stand out,
Right.
Whereas Viola Davis went a completely, this is, of the five, and again, I haven't seen the other Vanessa Kirby and Carey Mulligan, but I imagine, maybe I shouldn't say, what I was going to say was I imagine that they're playing without the transformation aspect that Viola Davis underwent.
Right.
And to me, that plays a big part in my feeling about who should get picked, because
watch her in Fences.
Became
you know, and then
I'm really looking forward to this this ceremony.
And so go ahead and hit the supporting actress.
Because it's in this category that I'm missing 3 of the 5. In Borat's subsequent movie film, Maria Bakalova, getting a lot of buzz. I really have got to watch this movie.
She's so
Hillbilly Elegy for Glenn Close. Olivia Colman, one of my absolute favorites, and I was so happy when she won a couple of years ago for The Father. Amanda Seyfried for Mank, and Yu Jung-yeon for Minari. I'll go to you, Paul, to start, because I have a lot of work to do on this category.
Same here.
I love when the Academy gives somebody an award for a lifetime achievement, but not this time. Please don't give it to Hillbilly Elegy for Glenn Close, because that movie should not be in the annals of history for anything. Let's focus on the great performances in good movies. And I mean, again, I haven't seen The Father of Minari, so my feelings might change. But my love for Mank is such that I really hope it's Amanda Seyfried. But Maria Bakalova is so good in Borat subsequent movie film. I would be thrilled if she won, because it's this is the category where they do that. Like, this is the category where, the supporting roles category is the one where every once in a while they'll throw out all right, here's a weird win, we're going to give it to you. Marissa Tomei for My Cousin Vinny being a great example. City Slickers, the dude winning for City Slickers being another great example. Cuba Gooding Jr. winning for Jerry Maguire. There's a lot of history of the Academy saying, all right, we know we're stodgy and horrible, so we're going to go ahead and pretend like we're fun for like 2 minutes, and we're going to put it up in the front of the show, and here you go.
That's why I think Maria Bakalova has a shot then.
I think you're right. That's where I'm going with this. I'm going with this, that if you're going to see something weird, this is the category where it normally, there's no weird actor in a supporting role nominee, unless you want to call Sacha Baron Cohen, even though it's not the role that would be considered the weird one, because it's for Trial of Chicago 7. I don't know. I kind of feel like I would, if I were betting, I would imagine that Maria Bakalova, you could get some pretty decent odds on, and that's where I would put some money. I bet you could get some decent odds for that one. Just for the category.
It's going to be interesting. That one, again, one of the biggest ones I'm looking forward to. We can't finish a conversation on the nominations without bringing up this one, because if you had told me that one of the categories that I would have seen the least amount of movies was in would have been animated feature,
the answer it would be that makes sense.
That makes total sense, exactly. So for animated
actually that's not true, because you've seen 2 of these.
I've seen 2 of them,
which matches your supporting
this is true
actress role. So it's not like you're going in blind on this one.
Well, but here's the point I want to make, though, because Soul, obviously the contender for the trophy. Onward made the list. Anyway, but then
we had a conversation about this just before we started rolling.
Weren't we? I have seen the trailer for Wolfwalkers. It interests me, but here's the title that made me stop: a Shaun of the Sheep movie, Farmageddon. I want that to be the dark horse.
I have to
just because of the title.
So, I don't know if I mentioned on the show or before the show, but I watched 2 nominated movies today, and Wolfwalkers was actually one of the 2.
Okay.
But the Shaun of the Sheep movie, I have to catch. And I love. By the way, for the record, loved the first Shaun of the Sheep movie. It's definitely for little kids. I have absolutely
zero clue about this.
Well, Shaun the Sheep is. Have you seen Wallace and Gromit?
I know of Wallace and Gromit.
No. There's no way he's seen it, Paul. Come on.
No.
There's no way he's seen it.
We have to give him Curse of the Were-Rabbit.
Yes!
That's write it down. But we're going to give him homework. We're actually going to have to give you 2 movies because you have to see The Wrong Trousers before you see Curse of the Were-Rabbit, just to warm you up and get you to understand.
I am familiar with Wallace and Gromit. I will take that on.
Okay.
I will gladly take that. Both.
But anyway, the people who do Wallace and Gromit, one of the characters from one of their shorts was a sheep. And they transferred that character into his own show. It's literally a spinoff. It's the dumbest concept for a spinoff ever, but it's brilliant and it totally works.
Yeah.
And the Shaun the Sheep show is for kids. It is for little kids. And it's not for it's literally for preschoolers. That's the level. But the movie is so good. People love the Paddington movies. If you haven't seen those, the Paddington movies are phenomenal. It's that kind of. Have you not seen them? Or
I'm familiar with them, but I haven't seen them. Yeah,
wasn't my thing.
People love them though. I'm not saying there is a huge stan community for the Paddington movies, and I get it. And similarly, Shaun the Sheep, while being an absolute kids movie, really works. On some level for me, and I it might just be my love for Wallace and Gromit, but yeah. So I'm going to catch this. I'm absolutely going to be able to say I have seen all of the animated movies coming in. So excellent.
Well, I keep perusing the list, and I know that we've talked quite a bit. We'll talk about more of these as we go along, but I am very pleased to see Emma in the mix for costume design.
I know, yeah.
And makeup and hairstyling. But answer me this: how the heck does Hillbilly Elegy make it for makeup and hairstyling?
Glenn Close. Totally redo her. So okay,
the nomination for costume design is huge. Huge. Although I've not seen whatever version of Pinocchio that is.
No, I haven't either. So I think that. So I honestly think Mank is going to end up being a movie that wins all its little nominations.
It needs to win this one.
And but I mean, Emma is so beautiful. Here's the thing: is so Emma for me is just an absolutely beautiful movie, and I hope it wins. It's got the makeup and hairstyling and the costuming, but honestly, I feel like it should be nominated for the what's it called, the production design as well, because it's so vivid and the colors strike out.
I honestly think Mank picks up costume design for the sheer fact that I saw color in black and white.
Yeah, no, that's true.
I think we commented about that when we reviewed it. So
we did, because we're talking about you can just tell.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
This is one of the first years, guys, where in the more production based categories, I'm excited about what I see there.
Cool.
I'm that's one thing that I know this year. There's a big difference in sort of my hope because of the movies that I've seen because of this show.
Yeah.
So thank you, guys. Very interesting.
I just want to. There's one big disappointment for me. And I'm looking at the list and I know exactly where it. So one of my favorite movies of the year, and I had no delusions that it would be nominated for Best Picture because it's just not that kind of movie. Is the Charlie Kaufman movie? Oh God, why can't I think of the name of it? I hate that. Total blank.
I'm thinking of Ending Things.
Yes, I'm thinking of Ending Things. Okay, so I'm thinking of Ending Things doesn't have any nominations, and which
so long ago.
I know, but I'm not entirely surprised by that. But Charlie Kaufman's won for Best Screenplay before. Mm-hmm. It's an adapted screenplay, and I've seen White Tiger, and I'm sorry, I'm thinking of Ending Things from a screen just from a concept and everything standpoint is so much better than White Tiger. I would even say, just from a writing standpoint, it's better than One Night in Miami too. But I get that one, but White Tiger I don't get at all. Like I just was so like underwhelmed with White Tiger. I made no delusions that other people actually would enjoy anything Charlie Kaufman ever does. So like the fact that he's won an Oscar, it makes me happy. But I was really hoping it would get a screenplay nomination, and because that's just what he usually gets nominated for, and he did, and it made me sad.
Yeah.
That's the one that makes me sad.
That's the problem with how things, not problem, but the issue for me with how things have gone is like things seem so far back, and
yeah, it was like July.
It was a really weird year for sure.
It was a weird year.
Tomorrow, we're filming this on the 16th of March. Tomorrow, or no, 17th? What's today?
16th.
The 16th. Yeah, tomorrow marks 1 year of work from home for this guy. So
oh yeah,
what a year that has been, and it's affected our movie watching, and so of course the Academy Awards will be presented on April 25th. And we will do a full recap of that awards ceremony. And in the next few weeks, we'll keep an eye on things like the BAFTAs, the SAG Awards, the Producers Guild. I love award season, guys. I don't know about y'all, but I really do.
I look. We commented early that we're going to be dragging Susan through the mud on this one, and we apologize in advance, but it's going to happen because I am on that love of award season with you, sir.
Indeed. She'll enjoy it. You watch.
No, she won't.
Because it's us. We're both awesome. So
no, you're the person who gave her 13th Warrior like she was going to enjoy that. So
it has to come up every single episode. It was nominated for an Oscar, by the way.
I don't get that.
And on that bombshell,
did they used to have an award for best use of no lighting, and so they.
All right.
It hurts me in the heart that some of my favorite scenes in that movie, you guys are like, "That's garbage." I love that setup of that scene that you're talking about, Paul, because they do the camera pans to the people, and you realize, oh, look, they're awake. Great scene.
How can you tell that they're awake?
Because how it's filmed.
Oh.
Go back again. Now you have to watch it again.
No, I don't.
Right. All right. He doesn't have to watch 13th Warrior, but you guys do have to make sure you go to our social media. Find us on Facebook and Instagram. Give us a like there. Comment. We want to hear from you. We're discussing some exciting things for the future that will hopefully get you guys even more involved in interacting with the show. Can I give him a hint? Sure.
There's a movie that's being re-released this week, and we may or may not be doing a review of that movie. In that we are. I'm so excited. It's going to be. Tuned. Sometimes you just have to embrace the dumpster fire.
Right. And I've been seeing some of the advanced, critiques that are coming out, and
here and there, there's
a huge gap.
And I think it's literally going to be, everything's going to be down here. But there's going to be nothing in here. It's just going to be it's going to be a double bell curve of how the reviews are going for this one. And
it's really going to depend on how many Josh Whedon haters watch this film. It's really going to come down to that. You watch.
Or just whether it feels necessary to make something 4 hours.
Right. So if you haven't figured out by now what we're talking about, next week's episode, we will be reviewing the Snyder cut of the Justice League. I'm excited. I can't say I 100% enjoyed the first one, but I'm looking forward to seeing his vision come to screen.
Yeah.
Because it's obviously a passion project for this man, especially when he's going to commit to the notion of 4 hours to tell the story.
That's just, it feels mean. It genuinely feels mean. Without having seen a single frame of it yet, I just feel like he's just being spiteful. Screw you, here's 4 hours, ha.
Listen, I was all for the 4 hours, and I obviously we're going to review it, so I'm going to do what needs to be done. But where I was like, oh crap, was when he recently, I think it was last week, there was an interview that came out where he talked about how no, this is just a one-off. I'm going to the movie is left on a cliffhanger. There's places to go after the movie is over. And I'm like, oh.
But in the DCEU, cliffhangers and places to go don't matter. Like none of that.
Good point.
It's just like,
good point.
Meh, it didn't work. We're moving on.
We're moving on.
And that's the problem with the DCEU is that nothing. It's like, here we're going to put things together and close our eyes and try to get them. Did it work? No. Oh. All right. Moving on.
Yet.
We'll make Wonder Woman 1984 that has nothing to do with anything. Let's do that. Great. Let's do that.
Yep. Oh, they want to be Marvel, but they just can't. All right. Well, it has been another fun episode with you two. I'm looking forward to the next. Thank you both for all the wonderful work you do as we continue to move through our movie adventure. Fun times. All right. Well, thank you all for watching. We appreciate that you join us week to week. Don't forget, click subscribe, hit that notification bell. You know the story by now. So join us week to week, have some fun, and we will look forward to next time. Remember, we always say you're awesome, you're amazing, and the world's a better place because you are in it. We will see you next time for the Snyder Cut on Real to Real Talk.
Yeah.